back to just everything. But look, I want to say this real quick. I'm a person that's been through a lot, and just literally and figuratively, and physically been through a lot. So much so that I myself, if I was just looking outside of my body and viewing myself, how that little nigga take all that, like how he went through all that shit, like I'm talking about physical fucking trauma. You feel me? And pardon me, pardon me. Let me calm down. I just got out the hospital. I'm a person that I had quite a few surgeries before. Not really, but I had surgeries. You feel me? And you could say quite a few. I've had a bunch on my back, and I had an inguinal hernia surgery around the same time because it was the same injury with my back. So inguinal hernia surgery, hernia repair, multiple back surgeries. Um, Damn, when you speak up my back, like now I'ma lock up on your ass. Let me sit better. A couple things, and no matter the pain that I was physically in, the professionalism and the technical professionalism, like I'm talking about technicalities of being in the medical field. Those people who did phlebotomy and all of the procedures that go along with your visit at the hospital, they was up to par. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna end up showing my fucking arm because I didn't know it was this bad. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was this fucking bad. These motherfuckers done stuck me in so many fucking different places. I ain't never had to get an IV change so much in my motherfucking life. This shit is crazy. And it's like, I'm looking at like, bitch, I even on my tattoos, and I'm about to show it now, but I got it's like on both arms was just fucking sticking me with all these unprofessionals. Like, who the fuck just got out of med school? Like, don't be practicing on me. Hello, Tanita Hembry. Have you ever been in a situation at the hospital where they bring in med students and shit, and the med students' job is to fucking look? I think they just putting motherfuckers to work now, just in disguise, because you got people out here supposed to be doing phlebotomy and shit, and they stick this motherfucker. They had the EMT goddamn sticking people in the beginning, and I should have just ejected right then and there, but I'm trying to get treatment. So you always vulnerable when you in the medical situation, because like my fucking hand was fucked up. You say yes, you feel me? Like, I'm getting all these rookies that don't know what they doing, then they look at you crazy. And it's like, yo, it's a hospital, yo. I need somebody who can find a vein and put that shit in the vein. I thought, no, it ain't just you. It's like they letting everybody work at the hospital now. Like, everybody can. And it's crazy because I majored in health science in college, and I was thinking, damn, dog, how hard the standard was to get into nursing school was. You feel me? And I'm even when I called the records department, I asked the girl for imagery. Imagery. That means an image. That deals with radiation. That deals with MRIs. That's imaging. You got something what they call palpation. I was asking, what's up, Doug Long? I was asking them to do palpation, and they looking like, what the hell is he talking about? I say, wait a minute. I guarantee the people that ain't make it out of health science or make it to their nursing program, if that was their major when I was in school, can be qualified right now and do a better job than the clinical physicians they got right now practicing on us. Use those African skills. Exactly, yeah, use those African skills. And in fact, they got these people that don't know what the hell they doing, so they just sending in all kind of people. And it's like, yo, we got to start understanding how. So this is what I got too. I'm going to show y'all. Where is it at? When you go to the hospital, make sure you get your medical records. That's what y'all see if y'all look at my live. Y'all going to think I was being disgruntled and out of line. I left it on my damn seat in my car. Point is, my medical records is 209 pages. And that was from Friday up until now. And I'm going to dispute a lot of that because I told them in real time. I said, listen, if this is the treatment I'm getting, matter of fact, since I got 11 people, let me go ahead and show y'all now how they were fucking up my arm, y'all. Let me show you this shit. So, motherfucker, let me let this phone clear. They got me right here. Another one right fucking here. I start bruising right fucking here. On my tattoo, the lady got me right on my tat. And then another one right, like, you can't really see it, but it's like, so it's like, wait a minute, you got to change the IV out. Yeah, y'all got to see what y'all got to see. And so see, but point is, that's what I'm talking about. We got to have a higher standard of a medical practice. You feel me? I can't understand why we would have people working in a position where you're going to, so this is what I'm talking about, back to the records though. I'm going to be disputing that on these grounds, and that's why I'm making this video, because if everything is up for negotiating, right? And we got Doge. While Doge is cleaning up, we need to start regulating how these bills go out. And overstaffed hospitals, because I don't want to see a bunch of nurses on the board, names listed, but then you can't even hit the button. Now, pardon me for not being hospitalized in a long time, but freaking I didn't have a cell phone. You call them and all of this stuff, but what happened to just the red button? You hit it, you get a response, a nurse comes. You got a man sitting down the hall, sound like he getting raped or he either dying. And it's like, you got to hear this all night. This man is screaming. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is neonatal. And they got the other guy come and freaking, he sounds like he's in my room now. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Like, yo, and he was happy to be there. Like, I'm not a person. Don't treat me like a peon that's happy. I understand there's people that actually, he was cool to be. He knew the whole menu of the lunch menu. Like, he called it out for the, I didn't even know the hospital serve ice cream. But the point is, I'm not there for the amenities. I'm here for treatment. I'm here to get well. I'm not here for nothing else. And if I can't get that, then what am I doing here? I could be resting up at home, taking my own medications. I don't need no IV. I could drink electrolytes. So it's like those type of things right there is what you're going to be looking at doing your medical records. That's why it's important to get your medical records, so you can go ahead and see what treatment did you say, and I'm going to dispute what charges. I'm disputing all charges. It's like a long itemized hotel bill. You feel me? You want to see what the hell did you get charged for every little intricate fact of that, and that's what that is. So that's why I'm making this video, to pardon myself and my temperament on my last live, because the issue with that was, so I'm telling them, I'm like, yo, when am I gonna get discharged? Because no procedures is happening. It's just a bunch of repetitiveness of the same antibiotics. And I could be, I'm pretty sure they got a pill version of this antibiotics, because that's how they get you at a hospital. Now they got you on a stay. I understand urgent care, but I also understand you prolonging me. You know what I'm saying? And running up the bill on me. Perfect example. This is why I wanted my records. I went against the x-ray. For those who don't know, x-ray is the most simplistic form of imagery, where if you got like a real broken fracture, you can see it on the x-ray easy. But if you got like a hairline fracture, you might can even see that on the x-ray. But if you know for a fact you got like a strain, you ain't gonna see that on no damn x-ray, and they'll run that x-ray up on you first. That's how they first get you, which is gonna be $2,000. That got you. So if you're gonna get it, why get an x-ray? Basically what I'm saying is, why get an x-ray where you can just jump to the MRI? It's not needed. The MRI gonna get everything. Everything. The x-ray, like, what do I need with that? That's like I said. So the point is, I said I didn't want that, but they still put that on me, right? They still took me through the radiation. Okay, boom. Then they said they wanted to do an MRI after that. I said, I don't want the MRI. Y'all said the x-ray said negative. If the x-ray said negative, I don't want the MRI, because I told you it felt like a strain more so. But it turned out to be something totally different than even that, which they did facilitate and help me. I ain't gonna even take no credit to say they didn't, but it was horrible care is what I'm saying. Because It's like the doctors don't even want to talk to you that long. The doctors come in there like they superstars. If you ain't got a private doctor and you go into a general hospital, a doctor will walk in for 2 minutes on your ass, look at you, you trying to get questions off, and he like dismissive of your questions. Don't want to hear what you got to say. Even if you know the vernacular of medical terminologies, he's still gonna like be dismissive, and then he gonna walk out, and he gonna come on his own time. So all in all, and I appreciate everybody saying they sub. I'm seeing y'all. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and back it up real quick. Tanita Hembry, I appreciate you subbing me. Love. Country boy who said use those African skills. I appreciate you fucking with me. Let me see and say, like I said, bet Tanita and say, bro, like what the fuck are they doing? Yeah, man. It was insane. Like what they were doing. That's what I had to get up out of there. That's what I'm telling you on my last live. You'll probably look at it from afar and be like, man, he was bugging out. No, it started to feel like I told my little brother, I said I needed this. I said that last night though. I said I needed this experience because this shit felt like I was in the infirmary in jail or something. It was just like, whoa. It was made me so thankful for my freedom. Like I was like, whoa. I know it's voluntary, but it seemed like they was prolonging it. I'm like, I just need a final call on what y'all say is rather than y'all prolong it. Like they told me I was gonna be looking for a certain kind of doctor to come yesterday, a specialist. He never came until today. But you don't know, the bills don't stop. And so I'm like, wait a minute. Like you mind you, you can be frugal in certain departments. You don't never want to be cheap with your health. But what is cheap and what is the rate? You know what I'm saying? You want to know what's the rate. What am I being charged? Like the hospital, the only place where you go where you're being actively charged while not knowing what the hell you being charged. It's the only place. You wouldn't go to eat nowhere. You wouldn't go to shop nowhere with no tags. And if they tell you, like they tell you, if you gotta see the tag, you can't afford it. Well, goddamn it, I can't afford it because if I don't know what I'm being charged, I need to know each service. You need to be bringing the same way you rush that damn registration over. I need, even with insurance. This is what insurance bureaus should have been doing. And instead of overcharging on premiums, they could have been saving themselves monies with the hospitals by asking the simple question, itemize this down to each hour. What is my patient getting? Down to the stay. So if this patient is here for a day, what is your daytime charge for a bed? Let's start with that. And before this patient accepts any level, at each level of their care, they need to know right before they do a procedure that costs. This is the cost. Do you accept? Along the way, that should be board across the board through the nation. Each level in care. If you are cognizant and you understanding of what you're doing, you need to be asked, this is the next level of care. This is how much this costs. You know what I'm saying? Being informed about it. That's how it is. That's how it should be. But because guess what? When you putting rookies out there and they like experimenting on people or feel like it, then nah, that ain't where it's at. You know what I'm like? It made me not, and I'm tired of me saying, you know what I'm saying. I don't know where the hell I get that from. But bottom line, that's what I had to say. And excuse my demeanor. Oh, what led me to the records department? I get to the records department after I'm telling them, they telling me I got to get wheelchaired out because hospital protocol, which I understand. You trip and fall on the way out, or you faint on the something like that. They got to get you out their door for their insurance purposes. Correct. So that mean they wheelchair you. So I'm like, if you gonna wheelchair me, then you gotta wheelchair me to the records department and then wheelchair me downstairs after I get what I need. I had to make an issue once they tried to discharge me, because once they get that discharge paper, that's when you really get to see how they rocking. That's why they kept asking, is he a patient? That's why they want to cut your band off and all that fast. Because if they put their hands on you as a patient, that's bigger lawsuit. As soon as they cut that band off your ass, you're just a motherfucker, disgruntled motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, I keep saying that shit. But all in all, I get wheelchaired to the records department. I'm waiting on the my records request that most people don't inform about or ask about. They just leave the hospital when they get discharged. The girls is sitting up there. It's a guy waiting patiently. And then I gotta fill out a form. She was already rude when I called over the phone because I tried to expedite the process. So when I get there, she gives me the paper to fill out. And meanwhile, they're talking about the James L. Knight Center Comedy Club and a bunch of lollygag or whatever. I'm filling out the form. I fill it out quick. I hand the paper. This is what you won't see on the live. The initiation of the argument started by me just standing there quietly. I had my phone in, probably recording. I didn't even think about no damn phone. Matter of fact, my phone wasn't even in my pocket. It was in a chair. And so I'm sitting there, standing there, and all of a sudden, she said, "Hey, sir, could you go have a seat?" Like she uncomfortable with me just standing there. So I'm like, I ain't finna sit, mama. I said, I'm urgently trying to get out of here. So I'm just urgently waiting, but I'm not saying nothing, ma'am. I just wanna, just wait right here. And so she's like, nah, go sit down. So I go sit and I'm here them steady laughing it up, talking about the James L. Knight Center. Why ain't no paper machine being printed? So now I stand back up, and that's when the recording come in. And if you look at the live, you'll see all that. And so that's what that was the moments leading up to that. So like I said, and then after the moments after that, I want to say for that video as well that the initial officer that came through the door was totally down to earth, super cool. I'm glad he had a lead position, the head of security or whatever, because bro was super cool. But to the little Haitian security guard who came in there, bitch, this is why I make it hard when Doge be motherfucking just not just Doge. This is when bitches talk shit about Trump. I say why. Bitch, I love that cracker, bitch. I don't want to say it like that. Damn, I just said that. But I love him, bitch. Like, I love the president. You feel me? Do your fucking job. And because I was so offended by this cocksucker who ain't never held the goddamn gun in his life, walking in, like, that's why the video ended. That's why you hear me say at the end, I said, I'm going to do you a favor to the good guy. You feel me? Because I told him after that, after I hung my phone up, what I said, you see him? He got his hands in his pocket. That means he's non-threatening because he's non-bothered by me. He understand I'm not an issue. That's why I complied and sat down listening to. Not to mention what's more offensive is I used to work for the same security damn company in 2007. Fam, you X amount of years late. I been ran it up with that company. Boy, what you talking about? Fam, you just got over here. You could get right back from over this bit. And you coming up on a nigga, like, and so I had not stood up after that. Like it's just basically no, I ain't even stood up. I was not threatened. I popped my shit from right where I said I ain't even stood up. And I like, cause I basically knew, I'm like, you touch me, bro, I'm gonna sue the fuck out y'all, bro. And even the head of security had to tell him, hey, don't do that, cause he ain't he's first of all still in the hospital. He's never left the hospital. He's here for his medical record. He already signed. And they got his license. These hoes was holding on to my license. Bitch, I ain't finna leave without my license. Bitches, you crazy? So it's like freaking and then, so all in all, that's where we at with that. I'm glad I exposed what they was on. And let's say another comment. Oh, bomb. So, and that's that, dog. And I'm just glad that I made it through that whole hospital experience because it was an awful one, bro. It was some good times in the sense of feeling like, man, I'm being treated well when I had a good nurse, two good nurses. But in the between times and shit like that, I was treated like shit. And it was awful, cuz. So, and I hate to even be talking like this in this regard. It got me amped up, bro. I need to be focused on just my life, my personal life, my civil life, and getting this shit together and finishing up what I got already on the plate ahead of me. Because if I'm pretty sure y'all watching, so I'm gonna finish up for that. Don't think that every live I ever did since we done had this litigation going, that I don't think about y'all looking at me. I do. Y'all always on my mind. Because y'all doing y'all job, which y'all paid by y'all rich conglomerates to try to F over a poor person. When I mean poor person is a person that are from poverty, that working 9 to 5, that's not in that position of ownership. And hey,